In the summer of 1483, two young princes entered the Tower of London. They were supposed to be safe behind its massive walls. But something went terribly wrong. Within months, the boys disappeared without a trace. Centuries later, their fate remains one of England's most haunting mysteries. Everything changed when King Edward IV suddenly died in April 1483. His eldest son, Edward, was only 12 years old. Too young to rule on his own, the young prince was about to enter a dangerous world of royal ambition, betrayal, and political intrigue. After Edward IV's death, the young prince was named the new king, Edward V. But before he could be crowned, he had to travel to London. Along the way, his uncle, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, came to meet him. The prince had no idea how dangerous that journey would become. Near Stony Stratford, Richard's men suddenly took control of the young king's household. Edward was separated from several of his loyal companions and placed under his uncle's protection. What seemed like protection was slowly becoming imprisonment. Edward was taken to the Tower of London. At first, the tower was not simply a prison, it was a royal residence. But for the young king, its massive stone walls would soon become a place of fear and uncertainty. Soon, Edward's younger brother, Richard of Shrewsbury, arrived at the tower to join him. The two boys were together again. But neither of them knew that they were being drawn deeper into a dangerous struggle for the English throne. At first, the princes were allowed to move around the tower. They played, studied, and prayed as they waited for Edward's coronation. But as the days passed, their freedom slowly disappeared. Fewer people were allowed to see them, and rumors began spreading across London. The days turned into weeks, but Edward's coronation never happened. Then came a shocking claim: Edward and his younger brother were said to be illegitimate. Suddenly, their right to the throne was questioned, and their uncle Richard stood closer to the crown than ever before. In June 1483, Parliament declared Edward and his brother illegitimate. Richard was crowned King Richard III. The two princes, meanwhile, remained inside the tower. Their future had suddenly become terrifyingly uncertain. After Richard became king, the boys were seen less and less. Witnesses later claimed they had seen the princes inside the tower, but eventually, even those sightings stopped. Then came the question that has haunted historians for centuries: where had the two boys gone? Sometime in the summer of 1483, the two princes disappeared from public view completely. No official record clearly explains what happened to them. Were they secretly killed? Were they moved somewhere else? Or was the truth deliberately hidden?
News of the princes' disappearance spread across England. Rumors claimed they had been murdered, while others believed they were secretly taken away. But without a clear answer, the mystery only grew darker. As the mystery grew, suspicion fell on Richard III. Some later accounts accused him of ordering the princes' deaths to secure his throne. But historians still debate the evidence. No surviving record proves exactly who was responsible. Years passed, but the fate of the princes was never officially explained. Then, centuries later, a discovery inside the Tower of London brought their story back into the spotlight and raised an even darker question. In 1674, workers discovered a wooden box beneath a staircase in the tower. Inside were the remains of two children. Many believed they could be the lost princes. But even after centuries of investigation, their identities have never been proven with absolute certainty. The remains were later examined and were widely believed to belong to Edward and Richard. But there was a problem. There was no definitive proof. Without reliable identification, the mystery of the princes could not be completely solved. Over the centuries, three main theories emerged. The princes may have been murdered. They may have been secretly hidden or moved away. Or the truth may have been buried forever by those who knew what really happened. For centuries, historians have searched for clues. But every discovery seems to create another question. The truth about the two princes remains buried somewhere in England's past. Richard III remains the most famous suspect. But suspicion is not proof. Some historians believe he ordered the murders, while others argue that the evidence is far too weak to be certain. The disappearance of Edward and Richard became one of England's greatest royal mysteries. Their story survived through books, paintings, rumors, and generations of historians searching for the truth. Even today, historians still debate what happened inside the tower. Without conclusive evidence, the fate of the two princes remains an unanswered chapter in English history. Did the princes die inside the tower? Were their bodies secretly hidden? Or did someone help them escape? After more than 5 centuries, we still do not have a definitive answer. The princes in the tower remain more than a royal mystery. They are a reminder of how power, ambition, and silence can hide the truth for centuries. More than 5 centuries later, the question remains, what really happened to the 2 princes? Perhaps the truth is still hidden somewhere inside the tower, or perhaps it was lost forever. What do you think happened to the princes in the tower? Share your theory in the comments.